We are going to try some new setups today. So I came on a couple minutes early just to sneak in here. This is a mic check, 1, 2. I will wait till, let's see, and then how do I? Hey, hi guys. I am trying to sneak in here a couple of minutes early to make sure that my mics work. Can you guys hear me? Is a thing. So I see a bunch of y'all on. I can't quite yet see where you're coming from. Okay, maybe I can. All right. Let's see. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Let me know in any chat you can get to. And I'm going to go live on Instagram as well. Sorry for the armpit action. Let's see. This is like very prolonged armpit action. Let's see here. This is the first time we'll have gone live in this setup in maybe ever, actually. All right, so let's see. We'll get on Instagram. Hey, Chad says he can hear me and audio is good for you. Great. Hey there on Instagram. All right. We are going to start very promptly. Those of you who have come to Soul Tour things in the past know that usually I am like very conversational. I don't really believe time exists. It's not really a thing. It's totally a construct. So I tend to be very fluid and flexible with time. But today we're going to be, in this week, we're going to be pretty intentional about our time together. I have things I want you to do with your time this week. So I'm not going to take a ton of it. I'm going to deliver some quick hits to you. I'm so glad to see so many of you here. This is awesome. All right. So it's 11:09. What I'd like to do, and I am in, where am I currently? I am in Oakland, California, outside San Francisco, west coast of North America. So I'm on the Pacific time zone. We are 1 minute to 11:11 at the beginning of a beautiful new season. All right. So I'm just going to give you a little hi, hello, welcome as we gear into this so we can be getting to some full steam when we get to time to begin. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you all for being here. Welcome to your Spark sessions to start your year, to start this season in an empire state of mind. My intention for these sessions is to be a spark, right? I'm going to give you a quick dose of illumination, maybe a little epiphany here or there. Somebody's going to catch a word that's just meant for them, and you're going to get a little dose of expansion energy, just like a spark. All right. It's 11:11. My name is Tara-Nicholle Kirke. They call me the metaphysician. I am a master coach, author of The Transformational Consumer, founder and CEO of Soul Tour. Hey, Olivia over there on Instagram. Lovely to see you, my love. Soul Tour is a coaching company and a school of life, self, and business mastery. All right. What we do is help the ambitious spiritual maximalists come to fulfill. This is where Soul Tour is where ambitious spiritual maximalists come to fulfill their potential and to fulfill their dreams. This is where smart, successful people come to get help building the empires they came to build and living the lives they were born, came to this planet to live. So I want you to, just where you are, get really rooted in your seat. I want you to take 3 deep breaths in your own time. If you'd like to close your eyes, I'm going to do a little micro ritual. And let's begin. We give thanks for this perfect day. We give thanks that divine order is now established in your mind, in your body, and in your affairs as fast as it can be, and still have it be joyful. We give thanks that the divine genius plan for your life now comes to pass, and the divine genius within you is now released in wonderful ways. May our brains come fully online. May our minds become fully alert and come into this present moment. May our souls be awakened even 1 degree, 1% more by our time together. And may our hearts be in maximum receptive mode as we gather and as we learn today. All right, all is well in our world, so let it be. I see Barika's here. Hello, Tam's here. Awesome. This is a wonderful crew. I think Deanna's there on Instagram. Good to see you, my love. All right, so some of you guys know that my 5-year-old and I are in the process of moving to Portugal. And when I do these meetings or interviews with the Portuguese schools, they ask a question that I love and find fascinating because I've never heard an American school or an American institution of any sort ask me this question. Here's the question they all ask. What's your family project? What's your family project? All right, what does that mean? What it means is, tell us, who are you really? What's your intention? What are you trying to do? Why are you moving here? What are your priorities for your children? What is it that you want your family to be about, stand for, be, do, have, create, experience, right? And that single question, what's your project? I kind of want to bring that to you as we get started with your year. All right. What's your project? And yes, it could be what's the project you're working on, but it could be what are you creating? But it could also be what's your intention this year? What's the project of your life? What is the project of being your big self? What are you about? What are your big dreams? What's the project of your year? What's the project of your month? One time I had a coach ask me this question. It was very revelatory for me. What's the problem you want to work for? What's the question you want to work on answering for the next 30 years? All right. And for me, it was like, I want to work on the problem of unrepressing humanity. I want to work on helping people be their big selves and do their big dreams before they die. So it can be a big picture project, but I will tell you that there were times in my life where my project was inner peace. Can I get to inner peace? You know what I mean? So for somebody, maybe just cultivating clarity on what the project is the project in this season. All right. And know this, you don't have to get the answer exactly right. The reality is that by screwing up the courage within yourself to come up with some kind of an answer that feels good and shackles off and resonant to you, aligned to you, some kind of an answer to the question of what's your project, making some sort of a commitment to, hey, yeah, like that feels good. I'm going to take the natural next step forward. By doing that, the clarity about what the actual project is, the clarity as to whether that is the right answer or not for you, will download in. All right. So you decide you're going to move forward on a project. You decide to take a natural next step and you try something that doesn't quite feel right. But then along the way, you met somebody and something else happens and you feel the natural next steps into the project of your life will begin to light up before you. Right. Now, in Soul Tour, we teach what I call the self-mastery method. And it's really just 3 steps you take over and over again in your life. Recalibrate, actualize, and align. And I'm not going to teach, obviously, in 15 minutes, I'm not going to teach in depth on those steps, but I will say this, that if you are if you follow new thought or you believe in quantum creativity, then you know that your miracles actually spark. Your miracles take place in other realms when you recalibrate your paradigms and thoughts and beliefs so that you start desiring what you want clearly, thinking focused thoughts in a focused way, start believing that you can actually do, have, create, and experience exactly what you want, and speak the word for those desires. That's recalibrating. Actualizing is when you rediscover your true sacred self, the version of you that you were born as, the version of you when your inner critic and cultural lies around of fear and scarcity and unworthiness and trauma, when those are no longer running the show, the true sacred self you that exists under that. All right. What actualization is bringing all of that into the world, lining all of that up, no longer speaking and thinking in conflict to your own self, your own dream, your own desire. All right. And then aligning, the last step is how you receive your miracles. So, yes, your miracles spark in other realms when you just think the thought, desire the desire, speak the word. But we often receive our miracles through inspired action. And it's often not necessarily the logical or linear inspired action. This is not a performative universe. This is not a thing where you got to like prove to some old white man God that sits on a cloud judging you that you are worthy of living the life you were born to live. No, but often it is through following a synchronicity, following a divine nudge, showing up, just showing up to try to do what feels like the right thing now, that your miracles will start to download in. The assistance of this universe will start to flow to you and through you, right? All right. So some key words. Someone on Instagram is asking if I can repeat it. I'll repeat it briefly, but it is important, so I will repeat it. Your miracles spark in other realms when you merely want what you want. Ask and it is given. Okay. Yes, that's an Abraham Hicks book, but that's universal law. Ask and it is given. But you receive your miracles often through inspired action. And the inspired action is not always necessarily logically or linearly related to the outcome you think you want. That's why those 25-year action plans don't almost ever play out the way you think they're going to, right? But that's why sometimes you get the download to go get a burrito, you go get a burrito and you meet the love of your life. All right. You have to watch. Let me give you some keywords and phrases really quickly, and then I'm going to talk to you about some synchronicities, and I'll give you a couple sparks for the day. All right. Some key phrases. If you're a note taker, take these down, and I'm going to go through them fast. Perfect unfolding. True sacred self. Alignment first. Alignment first. Everything flows from that. Impeccable. Impeccable with your words, impeccable with your thoughts. Do not think or speak against yourself. Here's a word that is actually a word is the kind of a theme for me right now. May not be for the whole year, but it is right now. Purify. Purify your thoughts. All right. Pronoia. Know that every force in this universe desires to help you, conspires to help you. And know that divine order, there's a phrase, divine order is real and in your favor. And it's not always logical and linear, and divine timing is also in your favor. And sometimes you just got to wait for that to line up. Sometimes what you got to do is watch for synchronicities. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to come over here really quick and say hi to Jennifer Morgenstern, Andrew Gordon, Shanette. Let's see, Kimberly. Awesome. Lovely to see you guys. All right. So watch for the synchronicities. When I got up and did my daily ritual practice this morning, I sat in meditation as I always do. And those of you who are in my Empires program, you are going to start getting daily ritual guidance from me exactly 1 week for today. So from today, so get ready. I sat in my meditation practice, opened my eyes, started writing as I do. And there were 2 people whose names came through that I haven't talked to in like a year or 2. And Spirit definitely wanted me to talk to them. Okay. So I write down, I'm like, okay, great. Noted. Got it. I open email today. One of them has emailed me. And then I get a Facebook notification that someone else had tagged me on a year-old post about the other person. When stuff like that happens, listen to it. follow it, book the call. It may not, even though you're busy, I'm busy too. You don't know what kind of assistance is trying to come to you. You don't know. Listen to it, follow that. There is a perfect unfolding, a divine right order and timing that wants to assist you in being who you really are and doing what you really came here to do. All right. And that's the process that we call an awakening life. And by the way, it feels really freaking magical when shit happens like that all the time for you. And by the way, shit happens like that all the time for you when you follow it, when you obey those nudges. You're kind of like telling the universe, source, all that is, yeah, more like that, please. And then it's just like sometimes you can't even show up in the morning. Sometimes I have to say in my declarations in the morning, I surrender my calendar to source because I had a really clear plan for how today was going to go, and it's not going to go that way, but I know that by following the synchronicities I will meet people, I will access resources and assistance that may shave months or years off of the way I would have done this if I followed my calendar every day. All right. So let that happen for you. Receive that assistance. Give yourself permission. And let me say this, the sooner you can give yourself permission to want what you really want and go after the big things, line up to the big things, the process of life shifting from feeling like a battle between the calendar you got and the calendar that source wants for you to life feeling like a creation game where all you're here to do is play to create the empire of your soul. That shift happens the sooner you commit, the sooner you just decide, you know what, I'm gonna go after that because I want to and it feels good, not because it's necessarily logical or you have earned it in some nonsense cultural way. All right. Let's see. So I want to leave you with a visual for the rest of your day and maybe the rest of your week, maybe the rest of your month. At the beginning of every month and at the beginning of every year, I do something I call monk mode. All right. It's a time of really, I think of it as ruthless, and I use that word with great intention, ruthless focus on usually on one thing that matters the most to me. So I call myself DJ Ruthless Monk, right? My turntables are the creative forces that formed all worlds. Monk mode is inspired by actual monks who pick a thing that, decide to devote themselves and their lives and their time and their energy to something that is that they love, right? So they dedicate, it's all about space. They dedicate and devote. It's about devotion and space. They dedicate and devote head space, heart space, physical space, right? They put people on notice around them that this is what they're doing for this season. And then the ruthless part is to maximize you. I am telling you, nobody else will ever in this life do this for you. So be on notice. What I'm saying is important right now. It is your job to figure out how to free up and maximize chunks of uninterrupted time for you to be in your zone of genius, working on, playing with, and creating the things that really matter to you, even if all that thing is right now is clarity on what actually matters to you. All right? That's monk mode. And there is such a thing as mini monk mode. So for me, monk mode may be a week, but you know what? Everybody doesn't have a life where they can devote a week of their workday and say no, no meetings, whatever. So sometimes it's an hour. Sometimes you get up an hour earlier, or when the kids go to bed, what you do instead of watching White Lotus again, which is worth doing. But not this week. This week, you spend that hour journaling, creating, emailing, meditating to download the download, right, on what your natural next steps are, taking the natural next steps forward on the projects that feel two things. They should feel like Liberation, like shackles off, like yes, exhilaration, um, or just liberation. Sometimes they will feel exhilarating. Sometimes it'll feel like, oh, this is not fun necessarily, but it will feel liberating. And it should also feel like a gift you've given yourself. Like if I spent a week or a month focused on this, that would feel like a gift I gave myself. All right. So, and like monks, you kind of have to make a vow here, take a vow here. And know this, you are taking vows and making commitments all day, every day throughout the day. With every pattern you carry out, whether it's a pattern of inspired action or a pattern of like dysfunctional or self-hindering inaction. Inaction is a commitment too, right? So, like this weekend, I was on a little mini DIY writing retreat with a friend, and I pulled a card from this archetypes deck, and the card I pulled was vow, right? And it was all about your commitments and also clearing out old commitments, right? So I'm like all about that in this season. We have to choose what we're committing our time to intentionally, make it be based not on what the culture says is success, but on what you love, what excites you, your big self, your big dreams. And also take a moment to clear out your old commitments. Like we've all set goals, went down paths and roads in our lives, had a vision that ain't actually the right thing for us, and that. And sometimes it's really helpful because you do stir up universal forces when you make those commitments. Sometimes it's really helpful to close those commitments out and literally say to yourself, to your source, to your journal, to the universal forces, I'm no longer doing those. I choose this instead. Okay. And then the ruthless part of being a ruthless monk is about being a laser in your focus, bringing all your inner resources and outer resources into alignment with whatever it is that you've chosen to focus on. No longer seeing your tendency to want to participate in things that block you from investing time in the things that matter the most to you, and refusing to participate them, even when they show up in the name of responsibility or love or caring for others or saving money. Right? Somebody needs to hear this. You need a housekeeper. You need a part-time nanny, right? There's just no way it's ever going to happen otherwise. You will ever make that decision for yourself. Okay, so here are a couple quick sparks for the day. We're almost at time. Spark number one is this. Make sure that when you make your vow to work on whatever it is you want to work on in monk mode, do not aim too low. I'm going to tell you the opposite of everybody else. This is because I have access to see the universal, and I'm telling you, this ain't no small dream season. This is a season for big dreams. The big dreams you have are the ones that help create you to be who you came here to be. And that's why you had that dream when you were 5 and you still have it. It's not going to go away. All right. I need you to somebody needs to hear this today. Set your sights higher. This universe does not require you to play small and play. Yes, you got to start somewhere. Yes, you're going to start with no customers. If you're building an empire, some people might not. You're going to start small, and small things grow, but the vision doesn't have to be small. Like the saying, set your sights higher in like firearms and riflery is real, guys. Your sight on your rifle has this much radius. So if the target is up here and your sight is down here, you will never hit it. You won't even get the right inspiration. You won't even get the assistance that's out there or the opportunities that are out there. My experience in life, and many of my clients experience this, when you raise your sights to the right level for you, and only you can know that comes from the feeling of resonance, like click, that's the right vision. You don't have to have any of the resources yet, but often when you set your sights higher, the assistance starts to flow. It just starts to work because that's the right goal for you. So don't aim too low. Spark number two is don't wait too long. A friend of mine was posting something, who's also moving out of the country, was posting something the other day about how one of the number one answers you get when you ask people who've moved to a new country, you ask them what they would do differently, and their number one answer is, I waited too long. I should have come sooner. Don't wait too long, because real talk is your big soul level dreams usually aren't overnight. So you might need to start now and go through the whole hero's journey of creating it. Go through the self-doubt, get out from the shadow, do all of that work, whatever it may be. Some people it may be much more rapid depending on where you are and what your destiny is, but don't wait too long. And spark number three is do not expect to nail anything the first time around. This is your project, and every project within your project is just an experiment, and you win every time you learn. You win every time you learn. All right. So for today, your job is to envision monk mode. Think about the question, what your project is, and just take the natural next step. And then get ruthless about it, ruthless about your focus, ruthless about saying not yet to other things you care about. Not yet. Can't focus. I'll tell you a story tomorrow. In tomorrow's Spark session at 11:11 Pacific time, I will tell you a story about how you choose and prioritize between all of the various things that are important to you. All right. So know that at Soul Tour, what we're doing in this season is we are ruthlessly focused on helping those who have emerging empires of their souls or have existing businesses that they would like to build into true empires of the soul. So we have some programs that are called Empires of the Soul. They offer business and life and self and money, mentorship and mastery for transformational authors, leaders, and entrepreneurs who want to journey down a single cohesive roadmap to highly aligned lives and highly profitable businesses. All right. So if you want coaching and consulting, actual business consulting and community and mentorship, if you've been waiting for a sign that it's time to let yourself want what you really want and build the empire you were born to build, this is your sign. And if you think you want my help and my team's help, you can go a couple of routes. If you're on the soultour.com slash, what was it called? Spark Sessions page, you can click the button that says book a call with Team Tara. Or you can go to soultour.com/apply, soultour.com/apply. All right, I'm going to close out now. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11:11 Pacific time. I declare that every person on this call now steps into a new season of overwhelming, overtaking, overnight, sustained happiness, success, abundance, all blessings by grace and in wonderful ways. And so it is. I love you guys. Watch for synchronicities today. Enjoy your perfect unfolding. I'll see y'all soon. All right. I love you.